Kamala Harris to be the nominee again.
A policy analyst believes we will see more lawsuits against TV manufacturers by those claiming they spy on consumers.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton recently sued Sony, Samsung, LG, as well as Hisense and Technology Group Corporation, which are both based in China. The Attorney General said Chinese ties pose serious concerns about consumer data harvesting and are worsened by China's national security law, which gives its government the capability to get consumer data. Chuck DeVore is with the Texas Public Policy Foundation and spoke with AFN.
Chinese consumer devices will often have on the device something that's not on the schematic, something that's not mentioned at all in the product description, and that's a device that will send information, personal identifying information, back to China. Things like your conversations, your use of the internet, that with the advent of artificial intelligence can be molded into quite an amazing intelligence product.
He said the CCP could use your information for blackmail or bribery.
A lot of Chinese products, especially those that connect into our electrical grid or any types of infrastructure, we're finding that more and more, all of them have kill switches. So that could enable, in an emergency, for China to purposefully damage key parts of our electrical grid.
DeVore said that financial penalties must be exerted on businesses selling products in America that are not forthcoming about their devices. I'm Robert Thornton.
For American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh.
Almost 20 years ago, AFA took a stand against the war on Christmas. Tools like the Naughty or Nice list showed which companies banned employees from saying Merry Christmas. And the Christmas buttons? Need I say more? As the war grows into an all-out assault on the gospel, AFA keeps fighting back, and your financial gift helps. As our thanks this month, we'll send you a 10-pack of Christmas buttons to wear and share. Visit afa.net/Christmas2025 to give today.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. As the announcer there just told you, my name's Tim Wildman, and joining me in studio is Tony Vitagliano. Good morning, Brother Tony.
Good morning.
Fred Jackson.
Good morning, sir.
And from sunny Florida. Okay.
Please.
Well, never mind. I was
a little bit of a technical difficulty.
We're having a little technical difficulty with sunny Florida. And I don't even know if it's sunny down there today. But
I'm sure it is.
It's a sunshine state, right?
If it is,
Ray Pritchard.
Ray will let us know.
Oh, he will. He's already let me know once this morning.
Yeah, we're safe in saying it's warm.
Okay,
yes,
we can't
that's
hear
right.
There's Ray. Ray's talking to us. Okay. Ray, just interpret my hand signals, Ray. I'm going to give you, what do you call that? Hand signals.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
sign language.
Like deaf people use.
Sign language.
Yeah, sign language. Mm-hmm. But we're trying to get Ray.
Give him some of these.
If you're wondering what's going on here, folks, we in our studio can see Ray in Florida talking to us. We can't hear him, and that projects poorly on live radio.
Yeah. Hearing is very important.
So for those of you
watching
on the internet, watching our show on the internet, I'm donning my Grinch. Today's Grinch Day, isn't it?
Yes.
And
Grinch Day.
You guys chose to be Grinches and not participate.
No, I have Christmas green on.
Oh, did you? Well, yeah. Okay.
I'm sure. What's the Canadian equivalent of the Grinch?
Have you ever seen a better Grinch? Have you ever seen a better Grinch hat? Grinch hat than what I have on right now?
Actually, no.
No, you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a Grinch hat on right now with
that's not just because you're the president.
No.
I mean, I really mean that.
I've
never seen the best.
This is a
One of the best.
This is a Cracker Barrel special. Allison and I were in Cracker Barrel a couple of weeks ago, and we picked up this hat.
I fully believe that.
It's really for our family Christmas get-together.
Oh, yeah.
Which we all, you know how families do pajamas or a theme or whatever like that.
That's probably one of the smartest, Cracker Barrel. They knew what they were doing. Having the general store with the toys and the candy, but right there at the front before you
Right.
go into the restaurant, it's just a kid. I lose all my kids every time we walk in there. They just
Well, it's also
disperse.
Cracker's one of those places that they start promoting Christmas in August.
Yeah.
That's right.
Huh? They want to get ahead of everybody
Yeah,
else.
that's right.
So anyway, I'm gonna take this hat on because I can't take myself seriously as a radio talk show host.
At the bottom of the hour.
If I keep this hat on, Ray, can you hear us now?
Hey, can you hear me?
There he
you
is.
are.
Hey, I have no idea what happened. I think the alligators got into the signal here, ate my cord or something.
Oh, me. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's 68 degrees here in
see,
Florida.
An iguana fell on his
Fell on my Comrex.
fell out of a tree.
It gets below 70, the iguanas start falling out of trees.
That's right. That is
There. All right, so welcome back.
Thank you.
Ray Pritchard joining us. If you're new to the show, Ray joins us remotely on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, you were telling us this exhausting trip you took. I just wanted you to share it with our listeners because they can be also exhausted.
Well, a week ago Monday, we left Hudson, Florida, just north of Tampa, drove up to Tupelo, spent the day in Tupelo on the air last Tuesday, then had a banquet, luncheon, and then the board meeting, and then drove from there that same day to Jonesboro, Arkansas, spent the night, drove up to Kansas City to our Kansas home, spent the night there, flew on Thursday to Portland, Oregon, and then Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I spoke at a Christmas conference at Cannon Beach Conference Center on the Pacific Coast, then drove back to Portland.
Wait, there's more.
Drove back to Portland, spent 8 hours in the Portland airport, took the red-eye flight from Portland to Chicago, got no sleep, landed about 6 in the morning, went to the hospital to see a dear friend who was the chairman of the board of our ministry for 20 years and battling with kidney cancer. And we got to see him one final time and pray with him and thank God for his life and ministry. That was Monday morning. And then went from O'Hare Airport to the hospital and then back to O'Hare and then flew to Kansas City and had dinner with our oldest son and his family Monday night. And then Tuesday morning got up and drove to Birmingham, and yesterday drove back here to Tampa, Florida. So that's about 3,000 miles in the last 9 or 10 days.
I think I saw that same journey at the beginning of like one of the Indiana Jones movies, where he's around the map. That's what it reminds me of.
Oh man!
Dun, dun, dun,
You drove one day from Kansas City to Birmingham?
That's right. Yeah.
How many hours was that?
That was 12 hours, 12 and a half hours to Birmingham, and then the rest of the way yesterday. So we were a little bleary-eyed when we woke up this morning.
So you're not responsible for what you say today.
Even less responsible than usual. Let's put it that way.
Man, you're right, Tony. That's the Indiana Jones movie, for those who've seen the movies with him traveling the globe.
The map. Traveling around the world.
From the Eastern time zone to the Central to the Pacific.
You drove within 2 miles of my house. What time was that when you did that on the other night? You went because you had the I-22, right?
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. We would have come by. Actually, it would have been late. It would have been late on Tuesday. When we finally,
so
he thought about stopping in. Just
I
add
thought
one more
about
stop.
stopping. I
Just
thought
add
maybe
one more
tell
stop
Allison
to it.
add a couple more.
Well, Tim stays up late.
We don't host people at our house. we just sit you down to the hotel.
That's right. I understand that.
Huh? I don't know. That's not in the Bible. You don't have to do that, right, Tony? You don't have to host people in your house overnight. Am I right?
I don't know.
It just says greet the stranger.
Yeah, and I'm no stranger.
He's no
right?
stranger.
We
I'm
may
no
be,
stranger.
you may be
greet me at all.
Or entertaining angels, unaware. Entertaining angels, unaware.
I've been called many things, but not an angel, aware or unaware.
Yeah, I think the new versions of the Bible say greet the stranger and then send them away.
Then put them up in the hotel. Yeah,
that's right.
All right.
That's pretty much what the innkeeper in Bethlehem
That's exactly
did, right?
right.
There's no room in the inn.
I know there are people that are really hospitable and they just host a bunch of people overnight, family members during Christmas and so forth. And I just, God bless that spirit. But that's not where the Lord's led me.
It's not your spiritual gift.
We all have gifts, right?
That's right.
We all have gifts and callings.
One guy said one time, he had a bunch of people over at his house and for like a Christmas party. It got to be like 10 o'clock or something like that. And he said to his wife in front of all the guests, he said, "Honey, I think it's time for us to go to bed. Some of these people might want to go home."
Hint, hint, hint.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Lot to talk about today on the program. Dr. Alex McFarland will be with us at the bottom of the hour. So we look forward to talking to Alex about this story. Hobby Lobby, yes, that Hobby Lobby, is giving away 500,000 free copies of the Lee Strobel book, well-known Christian author, The Case for Christmas. And that's we just applaud Hobby Lobby for doing this. And we tried to get Lee Strobel on, the author, but he was unavailable. And so Alex is going to talk about that and The Case for Christmas. So we'll talk to him about that. All right. Is that all? I think that's all the housekeeping we need to take care of. We need to move into the news of the day. Go ahead, Fred.
Yeah, I remember back in my DJ days, there was a song by Ray Stevens, "Everything is Beautiful."
In its own way,
In
Fred.
its own way. That was kind of the theme of President Trump's address to the nation.
Tony watched the whole thing. 20 minutes, was it, Tony?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
And everything is beautiful, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, President's speech last night did not waste any time.
Now, was he excuse me for interrupting, but I haven't seen it yet. I've seen the picture. Was he sitting down at the desk, the presidential desk, whatever they call that? Or, you know how historically presidents have addressed the nation from there? Or was he standing up or what?
I think it was standing up.
Standing up? Okay.
Yes, he had a Christmas tree, I say, close by, as I recollect.
You know, I wasn't paying attention to the decor. Fred, I'm sorry.
You
Can
just
neither
wanted-
confirm
You
nor
were
deny.
just
There
You
was,
just wanted to know.
I was listening, honestly.
You just wanted to know if we were going to war with Venezuela. didn't
So
you?
this was blasting
right.
in the background while I was getting kids ready for bed.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, President Trump in the speech last night says, "Families, hey, hang on, families. Money is on the way."
Okay.
Cut number 3.
Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year. And next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. In the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing.
So there you have it. And he also made note that he inherited an economy that was in shambles because of Joe Biden. But he also had a big announcement last night for our members of the military, and they have reason to celebrate today. Cut number 2.
1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military.
He says the checks are underway. That caused me concern. If they're going through the Postal Service, it may be the new year.
The checks will get there sometime in the next 3 to 4 weeks, maybe. I don't know.
Well,
yeah.
By the way, the Postal Service has they have staffing problems too now.
Yeah.
But let me just say this, because we have a lot of Postal Service workers who listen to us,
Right,
and
right.
they're busting their tails.
They are.
And there are a lot of good people and hardworking people that work for the United States Postal Service, but also there is the staffing issues. They are often mail goes missing. You don't know what black hole it's going into. They have a lot of problems overall in their execution, and the price keeps going up. It's 74 cents now to send a first class piece of mail. I remember Back in my day.
Take us back.
Back in my day. I remember when first class mail was 25 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Or maybe 22. I think I remember 22. Ray, you remember? What do you remember? You probably remember when the Postal Service started, didn't you?
That's right. Well, when it was when they called it the Pony Express. That's right.
Seems like I remember 22 cent
right.
first class mail. This would have probably been mid 80s, late 80s, something like that.
Right. What is it now? What is
75 cents, 74 cents. I think that's true for a just standard first class letter. But go buy a stamp, put it on it. But anyway, I just wanted to acknowledge there are a lot of wonderful people who do work for the Postal Service, but man, they have their problems in delivery. Anyway, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Just as a general point, I think it's a brilliant political move.
Right.
To send, I love it, $1,776 to each. Right? Is that right?
Yeah. So what's that? Yeah. I got to ask, is that before or after taxes? That's what I need to know. If it needs to be like $1,776 after taxes.
Nah, it's probably before, but
yeah.
You get technical.
But I agree, Ray. Keep going.
It's a brilliant political move to do that, give it to the members of the military, and to say this is sort of like the dividend from the tariffs, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dividends from you know what? A lot of people thought President Trump was going to talk about a situation with Venezuela, Fred. What happened to that?
Well,
did he mention anything about that?
No, it was strictly on the economy last night.
That's right. Didn't even mention Venezuela.
And I think the reason for that, you've seen a lot of polling out there in recent months that say Americans are unhappy that the president is not coming forward and not coming through with the promises he made during the election. I think the point last night was things are getting better, but it's taking a while because, as the president said last night, he inherited a mess from Joe Biden. So last night's message was things are getting better, like the inflation rate just coming out this morning, 2.7, I think it is.
Right, 2.7 versus 3. That was CPI, and then core inflation was 2.6 versus 3.1 expected. So he did come out and he made some claims, and I'm assuming he's seen the data beforehand. Otherwise, you wouldn't be coming out claiming. He said inflation is way down, and he said it's going to go even further down. So, some good things.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
No, it's the biggest drop, ever.
The biggest drop ever.
Yeah. So that's that's just a decrease in the rate in the increase of inflation.
Some people who were pundits said that Trump played the media yesterday in this way. And everybody thought he was going to talk about Venezuela.
Yeah.
And so he got a lot of people to tune in and watch for that reason. And then he switched to the economy.
Yep.
Which is his prerogative. Well, he never said he was going to be talking about Venezuela. So I think they covered that in the White House press briefing yesterday.
Mm.
Yeah.
But he probably did that because he knew the liberal news media would not cover it if he were going to.
Yeah, if it was just a cheerleading.
Talk about the good things that his administration has accomplished on the economic front. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. What about Venezuela, though, Fred?
Well, it's fascinating to kind of think about where we're headed with Venezuela. Everybody's familiar. We've been hitting those drug-carrying boats coming out of Venezuela. We know there are 13, 14, 15 ships, U.S. Navy, including our largest carrier in the area. We know this week the story that developed taking over oil tankers that are coming from Venezuela. So all that is happening, and the president has said that perhaps, now he's hinted at this, he hasn't declared anything yet, but he has hinted at action on land. What that means, we're not sure yet. But it seems that the president is, his overall goal is that dictator, as some people call him, Maduro, he needs to leave. There is the opposition leader, this lady who just won the Nobel Peace Prize. That's who he favors. But also, there is the belief in the Trump administration that prior to Maduro, that there were a lot of U.S. oil interests developing the oil industry in Venezuela, and President Trump believes we want that back. So that's where we are with that. He's not going to move away from this anytime soon.
No.
I think his goal is, even though people don't like to hear this, his goal is regime change.
Yep. Yeah, and I think it will be, I don't know, no one knows for sure what extent, if they start doing special military operations on land, no one knows what extent that would be, how much it would take to topple a Maduro regime, no one can say, which is part of the danger of the situation. It can escalate quickly. As a matter of fact, Venezuela has started sending naval escorts to oil tankers as a sign of, I guess, escalation in the conflict. I mean, that's how you start. That's how you create friction. Is we're trying to stop those tankers, and now Venezuela is just kind of.
Why are we doing this?
Well, I think Fred is hinting at it. We want the regime change. So if you're asking me personally,
I'm asking you personally.
We want the regime change so that we can get a friendly administration in Venezuela who will open up their oil exports to us. And I think a broader strategic move, almost this renewal of the Monroe Doctrine, is to just dominate our hemisphere and box China out even further. China's not happy about us cutting off oil. Venezuela is a exporter to China of oil, a lot of oil. So,
all right, let me ask you this question, Ray. What are your thoughts on this? Go ahead.
Well, number one, Venezuela has been a haven for the cartels, for drug runners, drug lords, terrorists of all kinds. I think exactly what Fred and Tony said, that President Trump wants regime change in Venezuela. And I suppose, I'm thinking to myself, how do most Americans feel about this? I suppose most Americans would say that's a good idea to get regime change down there. I think we don't want to see American boots on the ground. We don't want to see American troops invading Caracas, right? Mm-hmm. That's not going to work.
Right.
The blockade's a pretty good idea because Venezuela is so heavily dependent on oil exports to prop up their economy. So I'm cautiously hopeful that President Trump's plan is going to work.
Mm-hmm. President Trump's foreign policy, it is head spinning because he's supposed to go to China to visit China, I think in April. He met when he was in South Korea there a few weeks ago, and everything seemed to be really good. They all came away saying we had a great meeting. Now he's doing this blockade, which is stopping the oil going to China. But then last night, the State Department announced that the United States is going to give $10 billion worth of military equipment to Taiwan.
Right.
So it's amazing what Trump does. He talks about, I have a great relationship with Xi in China. We're going to exchange visits and everything is going along well. And then he does this knowing, he has to know that China is not going to be happy about the blockade. China's certainly not happy about this $10 billion of military equipment going to Taiwan. But that is President Trump.
Did you say 10B?
$10 billion.
10 billion.
Yes.
Dollars.
What do you think?
$10 million. I don't even know why I thought about that. That buys you half a plane.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You can get half a plane. You asking me, Tony?
Yeah. What do you think?
What do I think? Well, as an astute observer of international affairs, with my Grinch cap on, and I'm taking it off in a minute.
Yeah, well,
I'm only doing this to participate because our HR said we need to be and my wife said you need to be a team player.
Right.
So, but can you take me seriously with this?
I can. I wouldn't have asked.
If I talk about international affairs, listen, I don't know what to think. I'm indecisive on the rightness or wrongness or goodness or badness, to borrow from Christmas season, of or naughty or niceness, of blowing boats out of the water in the middle of the Caribbean, just because we say they're running drugs. we've never done anything like that before.
Yeah.
I understand where people say, hey, it's a good thing they're running drugs to the U.S. They need to be dealt with. And my sympathies, I guess, lie there. But it's so unconventional that to process our F-16s going where people are on the beach.
Right. Right.
And knocking boats out of the water, and then killing the people that are on there, that are in the water. I'm indecisive on the morality of that. Okay, at this point.
Right.
But now regime change in Venezuela, that would be a good thing
For the people of Venezuela.
For the people of Venezuela, and the way President Trump's going about it, he's forcing the issue. You got a military blockade of commerce, of the oil.
That's their lifeblood. That's all they got, really.
Yeah, the oil tankers that are leaving. So this is going to force either Venezuela is going to start striking back, in which that would be they don't have any. They're boxed in. Maduro's he'll probably do better to just to take an exile.
Yep.
You know, if an exile offer is available for him to
go to Russia or somewhere like
fly
that.
away. I wouldn't go to Siberia. You know, I wouldn't take that one, but I may take something on the Mediterranean.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All right, we shall return momentarily. Did I answer your question?
You did. You did.
Was it astute?
I was
Very,
locked. I was
very
locked
astute.
in.
Very.
My astute answer was, I don't know what to think about it. We'll be back momentarily. Stay with us.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
Life is full of mysterious happenings. Some of the mysteries seem to occur at such a right time that many of them are called simply a coincidence. Such a coincidence, perhaps one of the most famous of all times, occurred to a man who has been called the greatest American who ever lived, Abraham Lincoln. It happened one day while Abe was standing around on the front porch of the little country store that he and his partner, a fellow by the name of Barry, ran up in Illinois. Business was very poor. Barry turned to Abe during the course of their conversation and asked Abe a question. "How much longer do you think we can keep going?" Abe answered him, "Well, it looks like our business has just about winked out. You know, I wouldn't mind so much if we could sell everything we've got and pay all our bills and have just enough left over to buy one book, Blackstone's Commentary on English Law, but I guess I can't." About that time, a wagon drove up to the store. The man stopped the team and looked up at Abe. "I'm trying to move my family west, and I'm out of money," he said. "I've got a good barrel on here that I could sell for 50 cents. Abe gave the situation a good look. Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out what was, according to him, the last 50 cents I had, and gave it to the man. Well, the barrel sat on the porch all day long, and Barry made fun of Abe just about all of that time. Late that afternoon, Abe went over to where the barrel was and noticed some papers in the bottom. He put his long arm down and pushed the papers around until he hit something solid. He could tell by the way that it felt that it was a book. Abe pulled it out of the barrel and stood astonished. The book was the Commentary on English Law by Blackstone. Here are the words of Abe. "I stood there holding the book, looking up toward the heavens. There came a deep impression on me that God had something for me to do, and he was showing me now that I had to get ready for it." And Abe did prepare himself, mentally and spiritually, for the great task that laid before him. Now, I know that there are those who say that that was just a coincidence, and it could have been just that, or it could have been a coincidence with some divine planning behind it. Let us not rule that possibility out, for we cannot say that it was not any more than we can say that it was. There are a lot of mysteries like that one. Paul says that we should be stewards of the mysteries of God. And we should be, because it's true what William Cooper said. God moves in a mysterious way. his wonders to perform. He did then, and he does today.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
Therefore, preparing your minds for action and being sober-minded, set your hope fully on the grace that will be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. 1 Peter 1:13.
American Family Radio. This is Today's Issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of Today's Issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of Today's Issues.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. I'm Tim Wildmon with Tony Vitagliano, Fred Jackson, and Ray Pritchard. We're all four here, and because we thought, hey, we don't have enough voices on this show this hour, we invited our good friend Dr. Alex McFarland, host of Exploring the Word, each afternoon at 3 o'clock Central Time with Brother Bert Harper, to join us now. Good morning, Alex.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. What
Merry
you got?
Christmas.
What you got planned?
Well, exploring the Word and just being with Angie and family, and I do have a special surprise for Angie, but I'm not going to say to a nationwide radio audience because it might get back to her.
Oh, okay. So you bought her a special gift, I guess.
I did.
As opposed to
I bet you I can guess. It's a special
He's
jar of peanut butter.
Well, no.
Hey, that reminds me. I haven't got mine from you.
Do you know what? We ran out. We ran out of
ran
peanut
out of
butter.
peanuts?
Wait,
we
hold on a
ran
minute.
out of peanut butter.
You ran out of peanut butter. Well, for those who are new to this show, Dr. Alex McFarland, my brother Alex in North Carolina, has a peanut farm.
Yes.
And he makes peanut butter, and sends it out as gifts to people from the McFarland peanut farm. And I get mine every Christmas, right?
It might be the first week of January this time.
The Postal Service.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
That sounded like I was trying to embarrass Alex, and that was furthest thing from my thinking right there.
We really do sell peanut butter, and all the money that it goes to missions. And I have a number in my heart. I believe one day the peanut butter company is going to do massive work for missions. So,
Amen.
And we had made peanut butter. My grandmother taught me how to make peanut butter, and so we've been doing it since 2009. We started the company in 2009. Everything it's ever made, 100% of the profits have gone into missions, and it will continue that way.
You know, when I think about peanuts, I think about South Georgia, or maybe or Alabama. That's good. Maybe South Alabama.
Yeah, and a lot of peanuts come out of Oklahoma too.
Really? So peanuts.
And Georgia.
Okay. Wow.
And
I knew Georgia. Georgia's known for peanuts, but North Carolina too. Huh? What do you got to have? Certain kind of soil or what?
We use all Spanish peanuts, twice roasted.
Are they legal?
Pardon? Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they're
using illegal peanuts.
Totally. We go through INS. They are legal Spanish peanuts.
Well, I mean, I just had to ask. I know everybody else was doing the same thing. Okay, legal peanuts.
But yeah, there's a website, Alex McFarland Peanut Butter.
There you go.
Are you serious, Clark? Type it in, Tony. I've known Alex for a long time. I've never been to his website. Alex McFarland peanutbutter.com.
Oh boy,
is that right?
Oh boy.
I hope we go.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways.
Here we go.
McFarland Farms peanut butter and
wow.
Me Nuts for Peanuts.
MeNutsForPeanuts.com. Okay.
Now,
took me a second. When that popped up, I was like, oh, well, okay. All right. Here we're good. McFarland Farms.
I got to give a shout out to my dear grandmother. Tim, when you get to heaven, you will meet Joy McFarland.
Okay.
And Mama Joy, she was one of my best friends growing up, but she was a very godly lady. She's the one that taught me how to make peanut butter. And, anyway, she also was the one, when I was a little bitty kid, she said to me, she said, you're going to be a preacher. And I said, no, I'm not. Because, I didn't. We grew up in a pretty liberal Presbyterian church. And when I was in college is when the Lord really got a hold of my life. But the only preachers I knew anything about were not terribly impressive. And my grandmother would say, you're going to be a preacher one day. And I said, Grandmother, I'm going to do a lot of things, but I would never be a preacher. And anyway, she lived 1 month. I got saved at 21, and about a month later, she went on to heaven. But my grandmother, somewhere on the website, I haven't been on the website in a little while, but her picture's in there. And I am on many levels, indebted to my dear grandmother.
What's the website, Tony?
Well, it's Me Nuts for Peanuts. MENUTS.
The number
4. Peanuts.com.
Okay. Dr. Alex McFarland, peanut farmer extraordinaire, joining us.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
The peanut butter goes to missions, for real.
That's a
really
good, worthy cause.
Amen.
Yep.
Absolutely. So you're listening to today's issue. So the story we wanted you to comment on, Alex, the headline on Fox News is Hobby Lobby gives away 500,000 free copies of Lee Strobel's book, The Case for Christmas. And I was just, wanted to stand up and cheer for Hobby Lobby doing this.
Amen.
What a great way to witness to their customers for Christ by just giving away, nobody's charging anything, giving away 500,000 copies of The Case for Christmas. You know Lee Strobel, the author, right?
I know Lee very well. Actually, when I was president of SES in Charlotte, he would come and stay at our house sometimes, and I first met him.
That, but I'm glad you do.
I've known
that goes
Lee
back to the previous segment, Alex. I'm sorry you didn't hear that, but I
okay.
have a conviction about hosting people at my house. So we don't do that, but I'm glad you do, and somebody stands up.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've known Lee a little over 25 years. And hey, this is a great story. He very famously wrote a book. Actually, it's one of the biggest selling apologetics books ever, called The Case for Christ. Mm-hmm. See, Lee Strobel has a law degree from Yale University, New Haven, Connecticut. And Lee, for years, was an atheist. He was a decorated journalist with the Chicago Tribune. And what's really wild is when I was in graduate school, the leader of my thesis committee is a very famous apologist named Gary Habermas. And I remember Gary Habermas said to me one time, he said, hey, there's this reporter from the Chicago Tribune that wants to interview me. And all this is in Lee Strobel's biography and all. But anyway, Gary Habermas, a great defender of the resurrection, was very instrumental in Lee Strobel becoming a born-again Christian. I mean, and Strobel he's a wonderful man, sweet, sweet guy, but he's brilliant. I mean, this guy is like brilliant. And he looked at the evidence, he became a Christian. And by the way, just to kind of impress on the significance of Strobel and his meticulous research, Tim, do you remember many, many, many years ago when the Ford Pintos caught on fire and there was a lawsuit that went all the way to you remember all that?
Yes.
Well, Lee Strobel the Supreme Court called him as an expert witness in that. With his legal background. I mean, my point is he's got the chops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And among the books that he wrote is The Case for Christmas. Now, first came out a decade ago, and there's a chapter that I provided research for on Jesus was not a myth. Zeus and Osiris, Jesus is not like Greek mythology. This is historical. And so I feel very grateful that I got to contribute some research. But Hobby Lobby's giving away, while supplies last, free copy. So folks, if you want, it's an easy read. It's just a beautiful little book. The gospel is in there. It would be a great thing to pass along to a skeptic. But kudos to the hardworking scholar Lee Strobel, and double kudos to Hobby Lobby for putting the good news of salvation in 500,000 hands this Christmas.
Yeah.
Right. Amen.
The Green family, which is the ones who own Hobby Lobby, I think they're out of Tulsa, but they are notorious for their generosity and their work in spreading the gospel of Christ. They are the primary reason the Bible Museum exists today in Washington, D.C. So, as you say, we give a big shout out and applause to the Hobby Lobby company. They're also closed on Sunday, so like Chick-fil-A. The other thing that Hobby Lobby does, they Christmas and Easter, they buy full-page newspaper ads all over the country with the gospel message of some kind in these full-page newspaper ads. So you'll probably see a Hobby Lobby ad this Christmas, if you haven't already, in your local newspaper if you read it. So good on, as they say, Hobby Lobby. You're listening to today's issues on American Family Radio. Oh, Alex, what are you and Bert going to cover this afternoon on Exploring the Word?
Well, we are wrapping up Isaiah 28, getting into Isaiah 29, and going through the book of Isaiah. And then, of course, tomorrow we'll be live and we'll take calls on Friday is Fire Away Friday, and all questions all the hour. But we are just about midway through the book of Isaiah. I will say that next week and towards New Year's Eve, we've got some special things we've pre-recorded. I think it'll be very inspiring. Some special things about Christmas, kind of a challenging, inspiring New Year's Eve show as we, good Lord willing, embark on a new year. So, Tim, I just give God the glory. Exploring the Word touches so many lives. Everywhere I go, literally every town I preach in, people come up, many of whom have driven hours and hours and hours, and they just want to say what AFR means to them.
Amen.
And we give God the glory.
Hey, we give God the glory. Amen. Because God gave my father the idea of founding this radio network. Gave him the idea in the late 80s, and then 91 we went on with our first radio station. Now we have 170, and reaching also a lot of people on the AFR app. All right, Alex. Well, we look forward to this afternoon exploring the Word with Bert Harper, and that's every weekday, folks, on American Family Radio at 3:05 Central Time. So 3:05 Central Time this afternoon. Bert and Alex will be on the air with their live on-air Bible study, and they're in the book of Isaiah. All right, Alex, take care. And you said the peanut butter will be here when?
Early January, I promise.
Early January, because I look for it every year.
The site says 5 to 8 days after ordering, so that's
yeah.
Is that what it says? Okay.
We got you covered, brother.
And I'm sorry I brought it up in front of everybody like that. I just hadn't gotten mine yet. And so anyway. All right. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.
God
Merry
bless.
Christmas, Alex.
Thanks. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Anybody else get peanut butter from Alex here?
I've tasted it. It is really,
It is good.
really
Yeah.
good.
I've had it before.
Yeah.
Me nuts for peanuts, right?
Yep. Me nuts
But
for
you got to
peanuts.
put the
That's
number
right.
4 in there.
Yeah.
Like the numeric number, right?
Yes.
But he gives all the profits that he makes off that.
That's what he says, yeah. All the profits
That
go
guy's
to
on the
missions.
road all the time. I don't know how he has
Yeah,
time.
who's making the peanut butter?
That's what I mean. I didn't, we didn't have, we'll maybe ask him that next time. But also, I mean, the farm, you got to get out there and
Yeah.
Plant.
I wanted to ask him, how do you even make peanut butter? I don't. He said Spanish peanuts, and that's more than I knew before about how to make peanut butter. That's it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Tony, you know how to make peanut butter, don't you?
No. It's in my in all my homesteading that I do in my free time. I just haven't added peanut butter on there yet. So I'm somewhere between, the organic milk and the chickens and the gardening.
He's probably like Colonel. He's probably like Colonel Sanders. He's not going to give away his recipe to everybody.
Oh no, I'm sure.
I think they lay them out on a big floor and they walk on them.
And they walk on them like people squash the grapes when they're making wine. Same idea.
I think you got your peanuts and your cranberry farmers mixed up there, Fred.
Oh, dear.
Walking on peanuts. Oh my goodness!
That's a song.
And walking on peanuts. I think that's Katrina and the Waves.
Yes,
from the '80s.
Yeah,
walking on sunshine, which is a peppy song, by the way.
It is.
Yes.
Tony, you want to reel this show back in?
We need to. I think we. I'm not the person to do it. I think Fred needs to get us back on.
Fred, get us back
target
on track,
here.
Fred.
Yeah,
give us some.
that's
news
why I'm here.
All right, go ahead.
Dan Bongino. I think most folks in our audience are probably very familiar with him. Probably saw him first on Fox several years ago. He left Fox, did a podcast, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, early this year, he was announced as the FBI's deputy director. Now, a lot of folks thought Dan Bongino, knowing him, he's out there. He's a former Secret Service military guy, and is kind of an A personality. Mm-hmm. And when I heard he was going to be deputy director, a lot of people said, that's not the kind of personality. Deputy director is the kind of guy who looks after things behind the scenes and kind of administrative. So it wasn't a total shock when I heard last night, yesterday afternoon actually, that he has resigned. Mm-hmm. He is the first high-profile appointee of the president to leave.
Why is he? He wasn't even there a year.
No, no.
Why is he leaving?
Well,
what did he say?
This is where Well, he thanked the president for the opportunity, the appointment, et cetera, et cetera. Now, he didn't specifically say why he was leaving. So that's where the speculation begins. That the speculation being that he didn't get along with the attorney general.
Yeah.
And had a difference of opinion.
Pam Bondi?
Yep. Pam Bondi had a difference of opinion on what to do with the Epstein files. Mm-hmm. Now, that's out there. That's speculation. But anyway, they did not get along. You know, when the resignation announcement came out last night, she said, good luck, Dan. We hear he's going back to Fox and will be co-hosting a show on Fox, which probably is a better platform for him, given his personality and the degree of his opinions on where things are in the nation.
Tony?
I think he probably had the expectation, as did a lot of people, which hasn't, in my opinion, panned out exactly the way we all want it, that he would come in and start cleaning house, and that there would be sweeping reforms, investigating, obviously, the failures of the Secret Service at Butler that almost cost President Trump his life. I think he probably came in a little idealistic and was met with the cold, hard reality of the bureaucratic state in D.C. And like we mentioned, he was told, deputy director is probably, it's not the level where you get to make those sweeping changes that need to be made. So he probably was frustrated, and after giving it a shot for a year, realized that nothing was going to change.
Knowing his personality, almost everybody listening to us has heard or seen Dan Bongino over the years. He is going to say,
he's a firebrand.
When he leaves, he's going to say why he left. Maybe not now is appropriate when he's not out of office yet. Now, he was so you got Pam Bondi, who's the Attorney General. That's a cabinet level position. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we know that. And then Kash Patel is the FBI director. The FBI director is under the Attorney General. That's his boss. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Dan Bongino was Kash Patel's underling?
Deputy, yes.
Deputy. So he's 2 levels removed from being in any kind of real position of authority, I guess you could say. Although that's pretty high. Mm-hmm. Your deputy director, whatever, of the assistant to the FBI director. I mean, that's pretty high level. But I imagine he'll say, what's going on, what the reason he left. What would they have disagreed about on the Epstein files, if that's true?
The degree of release, I think that
Yeah.
had to do how much you're going to put out there.
Yeah, there was.
Well, like what? I mean, what?
Well, if I had to guess, and this is all again, like Fred says, we're all just speculation.
But we're
Dan
speculation
probably,
and rumors. That's the those are the two pillars upon which a talk show is.
That's right.
That's
built,
right.
That's right.
Do we remember the interview? The very weird, odd interview with Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. Was it with the Fox News? Was with the Fox News host, I believe. I can't remember which one, but they were both very kind of robotic in their denial of certain allegations about Epstein, whether he killed himself or not. And it was just odd, and there was conflict at that point on about, Pam Bondi was saying there's tens of thousands of, files and documents or videos. It was videos, and then all of a sudden there's nothing, and then it got messy, and it's still a messy situation. So, again, just speculating, I would say Dan is probably just washing his hands of it.
Let me ask you this. What, I know what, for people who were just lived this Epstein story, a lot of people in the MAGA movement, the conservative movement, were like, Epstein, released the files. What were people who were really into that hoping would be accomplished by releasing all the Epstein files, Tony? And were you in that camp?
Oh, I was in that camp at the beginning.
Okay.
I wanted to see.
What were you wondering though?
Well, I was wondering, first of all, who was really on the Epstein client list, right? Who has real connections with Epstein? Who is, if anybody, is there evidence on, which there is, obviously, I think it's pretty safe saying that, who has evidence on them that they were involved in Epstein's nefarious, wicked activity. I just, for me, it came from a sense of wanting to see justice done, to see justice brought to individuals who it needed to be brought to.
But because of the crimes, or because you think they had influence over high-level American officials / politicians who were subject to blackmail?
Oh,
is that
both? I'd want to. I think the American people deserve to have that information.
Because he ran at the highest levels of our government?
Yeah.
Epstein did? Go ahead, Fred.
One of the things that has puzzled me is that after Donald Trump was elected just over a year ago, reelected a year ago as president, the Democrats immediately started saying, release the files, release the files. Wait a minute. Joe Biden and his attorney general had those files for 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You had them in your possession, Democrats. Now you're saying there's something really bad here that the Trump administration wants to hold. Do you think for a moment, if Donald Trump's name was high profile, that he visited the island, do you think that Joe Biden's Attorney General's department wouldn't have put that out there the 4 years they were in office? So that's why I couldn't understand why all of a sudden Trump gets elected. You want to see this stuff.
Good point, right?
Yeah, I imagine, Tim, that if all the Epstein stuff was released, I think we'd be surprised at the names that are on there. There, we would see some Democrat names on there. We would see some Republican names on there, including some people that we personally support, which doesn't mean anything nefarious happened, but maybe somebody was on that plane. He had the island. Somebody went to the island. Even if you went to the island, it doesn't prove you did anything wrong. But I imagine that's part of the reason that nobody was pushing too hard to, it wasn't all Democrats on that list.
It's just embarrassing
to
be on that names in his quote files. I think for a lot of people that was been, like you said, not that they necessarily did anything wrong. Although when you hang out with company like that the reputation of that person. If you hang out with them enough, from what I can tell, so President Trump, he didn't want this released either, right?
Well, lately he has said, "Go ahead, do
I know he did, but there was supposedly tension between him and some of the other administration on how much to release. now you could take that two ways. You could take that because you could say, well, because his name's on there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's never been anything about Trump doing anything unethical, immoral, or illegal having to do with his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
That's correct.
I just look at it like they were both. Trump was a New York business tycoon, and he was a playboy, and he ran in the same circles as this guy in New York City, and a lot of liberals did too. They're Democrats and whatever.
Bill Clinton.
Well, Bill Clinton looks terrible in all this. Huh? Am I right?
Yeah.
Right?
He does. He does.
I mean, he looks terrible. He looks like the worst of them all in terms of politicians. His relationship with Jeffrey Epstein was, but maybe this episode's all behind us. But goes back to our point about Dan Bongino.
Mm-hmm.
You say maybe he was at odds with Pam Bondi.
Yeah.
But listen. Okay, and again, I've said President Trump, there's no evidence of him doing anything wrong, except maybe having bad judgment on having a friendship with this guy. But you're talking about going back to the 80s and 90s, and who knows what was going on back then. But now, I think President Trump didn't want this out in the news just because his name was attached to it, and they got all those pictures. And so, again, not that he did anything wrong, but he didn't want it to be the top story when he's dealing with all these other issues, which in his mind are more advantageous to his administration. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. We shall return with more of today's issues on American Family Radio with Steve Paisley Jordahl in just a minute.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
Getting married, starting a family, their eternal values and ideals. These are core values that shaped this country for so long. These are values and ideals that are rooted in Scripture. They're eternal values and ideals.
At the Core with Walker Wildmon and Rick Green, where culture meets biblical truth. Weekdays at 1 Central on AFR. This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. Australia has pledged to crack down on hate speech and violence following a mass shooting at a Jewish holiday event in Bondi Beach in Sydney as authorities thwart another planned attack. Steve Harrigan is there in Sydney with the latest.
Australia's counter-terror police are in action in a very big way in the suburb of Sydney. In heavily outfitted tactical gear, they rammed 2 vehicles, detained 7 men they say were planning a violent attack on the way here to Bondi Beach to carry out an attack. But police saying there is no connection at this point between those plans and the attack that did take place here on Sunday. In the meantime, as funerals continue for the 15 people killed in that attack here, some video has been released, cell phone video, that shows 2 of the victims, Rabbi Schlanger and 10-year-old Matilda. You can get the sense of what a joyous celebration this was in the moments before that attack.
President Trump addressed the nation last night to tout the work of his administration, and Republicans are reacting. Alabama Senator Katie Britt defended the president from Democrat critics by saying much of his policies haven't gone into effect yet, and saying the address was a breath of fresh air compared to what former President Joe Biden would have done.
President Otto Penn, that just left office, could have never done that. He very clearly said to the American people, I see you. And look at the things that we've done. What he has accomplished in just these first 10, 11 months is remarkable. But I think more is yet to come.
Republicans in the House passed a bill that they say will lower insurance costs in a 216 to 211 vote. It doesn't extend Affordable Care Act tax credits. House Speaker Mike Johnson says it brings changes that all Americans want from the health care system.
The Lower Premiums for All Americans Act does exactly what the title suggests. It will reduce premiums for all Americans by, on average, at least 11% overall. And that's just the beginning. There will be much more to come, more ideas in the first part of next year to bring down the cost of health care.
The Department of Health and Human Services has implemented new restrictions on gender manipulation of children. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says evidence shows these procedures harm children, and doctors who condone it are committing malpractice.
Doctors assume a solemn obligation to protect children. Yet doctors across the country now provide needless and irreversible sex-rejecting procedures that violate their sacred Hippocratic oath by endangering the very lives that they are sworn to safeguard. The American Medical Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, battled the lie that chemical and surgical sex-rejecting procedures could be good for children who suffer from gender dysphoria.
Meanwhile, a new report says a school district is teaching young kids 28 different sexual orientations and 9 gender identities. Bronson Woodruff has more.
San Diego Unified School District is reportedly teaching this to young children because it says students as early as kindergarten are, quote, name-calling and using anti-gay and anti-trans slurs. The LGBTQIA+ terminology student panel welcome slides talk about 9 different gender identities. Some include demi-girl, demi-boy, and gender fluid, as well as third gender and agender. There's also a slide about dead naming, and another slide from the Trevor Project that names 28 LGBTQ youth sexual orientations. Some include agosexual, queer demisexual, and heteroflexible, as well as semisexual. Greg Bird of California Family Council.
Well, California schools have been pushing this radical gender and sexual ideology for a long time. It's coming out of the state capitol, so seeing it actually implemented in San Diego is not surprising.
He said parents across the state have been raising alarms about this, quote, age-inappropriate content long before this particular story broke.
And what's different now is that we just had the Supreme Court clearly affirm that parents have a right to opt their children out. There was a case out of Maryland.
That was the Mahmoud versus Taylor case, he explained.
And the Supreme Court said that parents have the right to opt their kids out of any performances that are interfering with their ability to pass along their religious values to their children.
I'm Bronson Woodruff.
More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
Hello, my name is Andy Miller, and I'm the president of Wesley Biblical Seminary based in Ridgeland, Mississippi. We are developing trusted leaders for faithful churches, and we do that based in the authority of Scripture and in the reality that Christians can be transformed. We do that also through bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees. We'd love for you to learn more about Wesley Biblical Seminary at wbs.edu, where we're developing trusted leaders for faithful churches.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, president of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. Here are the Today's Issues program. Tim with Tony and Ray, and we thank you for listening. And joining us now, Steve Paisley Jordahl. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, everybody.
So, doing okay, Steve?
Yeah, doing well. Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
I've got something to add to last hour. I think that's going to be very important. I think that will help solve some of the problems you guys were having. I figured out, or I looked up how to make peanut butter.
Okay, yeah.
So this is important. The discussion you had last hour. So basically, you take peanuts.
Okay.
You put them in a food processor. You grind them up.
Taking the notes.
And they become peanut butter.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm not sure. I think I missed a step or two there.
No, that's it. Just one step.
What?
Peanuts.
What?
Food processor. Peanut butter.
No, now come on.
At some point, you could add like honey or molasses if you want to make them sweeter, and if you want to make
Google
them
this?
smoother.
Is that where you got this?
I did.
Okay.
You can add oil if you want to make it a little creamier and everything. But basically, peanut butter is peanuts.
Well, we're getting a cease and desist from Alex right now.
That's right. That's right. We're going to be sued right here.
There's got to be more to it than that.
Seems like it, right?
How does it get oily? And
peanuts contain that oil.
Okay,
it's kind of locked in there, and that's you keep doing it. Eventually, it unlocks that oil, and it
starts to thicken, I guess, and turn into the consistency that we know.
So the all important question then is, the differentiation, Steve, must be in the peanuts themselves.
It would
right?
have to be in the peanuts, and perhaps some. I mean, there could be additives, the flavor additives, like you use the right peanut oil if you're going to add oil to the mixture.
Yeah, just so much there to explore.
Okay, you're saying if I got 5 gallons, is that right, or 5 pounds of peanuts?
Pounds of peanuts.
Okay, and then chop them up, or pureed them. Well, what's the right word? Food process them.
Process
right?
them, yeah.
Okay, then the goop at the bottom would be peanut
No,
butter.
everything would eventually be peanut butter.
Okay.
I'm seeing a new Food Channel show right there.
I think we can do it.
The peanut butter wars.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So Allison, my wife and I, we've all right. I'm gonna lose my man card on this one.
Here we go.
But we've been watching a
The
little
war
bit.
that sticks to the roof of your mouth.
What's that?
We've been watching a little bit of the.
Have you been watching the Food Channel?
Yeah. Do you know where I'm going with this? It's the holiday.
Oh, I love those holiday baking shows.
Okay, there you go.
I love them.
Okay, then I'm
them.
not a wimp.
No, you're not.
Okay.
No, it
Absolutely
just
not.
means Ray has to hand his over also.
That's right. That's right. Both of us.
We've been watching a little bit of this food challenge, holiday food challenge cook-offs or whatever
with that guy.
the championships.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
It's pretty interesting, pretty cool. But by the time you get through watching an episode, you feel like you put on about 3,000 calories.
I know.
Just from watching it on TV.
Not a lot of.
Huh?
Not a lot of fat-free,
no,
low-calorie
no,
desserts
they don't,
there.
that
I'm
doesn't
sure.
stop. They don't do that kind of rate.
Oh, no. We're talking about really
Load it up.
elaborate gingerbread houses
Yeah.
and your cookies and the
The
tarts, right?
More butter and more sugar, the better it is.
That's right.
That's so anyway, I always joke with my wife because she likes the butter in the cooking.
Tim, do you ever watch those shows and say to yourself, I could do that. Alice and I should go on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it one day. Try to do some of that. I don't know.
Put an AFR team up there.
Yeah.
Bring it up to the office. Everybody,
That's right.
Tell everybody.
I made this.
Tell everybody who made it.
Yeah,
you're right.
It would go real quick.
I think people
this is-
would. They would only eat it if I sat there and watched them.
That's right.
And then,
this is
so
so
if I
good.
made- but anyway, they do have some interesting shows on there, especially this time of year. Talking about the Food Channel. All right, you're listening to today's issues on American Family Radio. So I get to keep my man card.
Yeah, you
for
can
now?
keep it.
Okay,
Yeah.
You're
thank
good.
Thank you.
They've
all
already
right.
taken mine. Somebody just came in and took mine right
Right
now.
in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in front of me.
These days we need
Of course,
as
I'm
many.
switching over to football pretty quick. Though.
That's
These
right.
days we
It's
need as many
college
people to
football,
keep
the
their man
playoffs.
card as
That's right.
possible.
That's
So
right. All right, Steve.
Hey,
What do you got?
I got.
for us?
Let's just start with a little nice piece of, let's call it political irony. So there is a law that President Trump is using to justify or to be able to blow these drug boats out of the water from Venezuela,
Like Miami Vice.
just like that. And it's called the Maritime Drug Law Enforcement Act of 1986.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah, I
one.
remember that
You
one.
remember that one?
Oh, yeah. I was in favor of that.
Yeah, it basically allows.
Ray, I remember you weighing in, and it was very
That's right.
controversial.
I
at the
took a
time.
stand.
look, I'm convinced. This is before I was paying attention, and I'm convinced there's a law that you can go back to justify anything in our government. If I had to guess, it's like
Basically
we're
true.
referencing according to the maritime. What was it called?
The Maritime Drug Enforcement
The Maritime Drug Enforcement Law of 1986.
That's
We're going to
right.
start blowing up people.
Well, big beautiful
I mean,
law.
It
Big
just,
beautiful
you can
law.
just point back to it.
But
No matter what you do, there's a law that you can reference. that
Wait
gives
for the other shoe to drop, though.
All right.
It was
That
authored.
would be a flipper. But anyway, go ahead.
It was authored by Chuck Schumer.
No way.
good.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
good.
beautiful.
So he's using a Chuck Schumer law to blow these boats out of the water.
Oh, that's great.
Wait, what's the name of the law again?
The
Now?
Maritime Drug Law Enforcement Act of 1986.
All right.
Oh, that one. Yeah, yeah. I was
think,
for it strongly.
yes.
in favor of that.
I think Don Johnson was in charge of the Drug Enforcement Agency at the time.
He might have been. The House passed a bill that's called the Protect Children's Innocent Act on Wednesday. It was authored by Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, and it would make it a Class C felony to treat minors.
A classy felony. I've never heard of that before.
Class C.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, sorry.
Misunderstood.
A Class C felony to treat minors with gender dysphoria with any kind of mutilation surgeries or puberty blockers. It makes it illegal. It makes it a felony. They will arrest you as a doctor if you're prescribing either surgeries or any kind of drugs for these kids. Yeah. A good move. They're unsure whether the Senate will pick it up, Tony, but it seems like on any other day, any other administration, this would be a huge piece of news. It's kind of being overlooked right now.
Yeah, I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see that these laws are at least being voted on and passed. That's a good sign. It still shows that the trajectory is going in the right direction. It means it's a rejection of this transgender ideology and the targeting of children for these life-altering, catastrophic surgeries that just does untold damage to them mentally and physically, obviously. So I'm encouraged to see that. Like you said, Steve, I don't know whether it'll make it past the Senate or not, but
it's unlikely to get the 60 votes needed.
Right.
But I tell you, to your point, Tony, what this means is that Speaker Johnson still has a pretty good hold on keeping a very narrowly divided House together. He's doing an excellent job of shepherding some of this stuff through. A bill like this, it passed. I have
I was going to look up the numbers.
216 to 211. So it just passed by 5 votes.
Y'all still talking about the maritime vote?
No.
I'm sorry, I had to step out for a minute.
That's okay. That was even closer. We're talking about the Protect Children's Innocence Act.
Okay.
That makes it a felony to do any kind of transgender medicine or surgeries on children.
Look, if there was ever a slam dunk, this is it.
Yeah, exactly, Ray.
It ought to be more than a felony. It ought to be a public hanging.
I agree.
You're not opposed to that?
Yeah.
Anybody that would mess with children in that fashion is that's horrible.
I think it just 216 to 211, just a razor thin vote. That's almost a party line vote. I'm guessing.
No, it is.
It is a party.
Yeah.
The fact that Democrats still they're going to die on this hill. This is a hill they're going to die on. The fact that they are still voting against something like this to protect children it's mind-boggling. But I guess they're in too deep at this point.
Yeah, the Democrat Party as a whole, not every single one of them, but Fetterman, so there's a couple of them, they are all sold out to the transgendered movement. Okay, they wholeheartedly believe in that. So they believe that you should be able to give children puberty blockers. I mean, genital surgeries, and oftentimes without even parental consent. They would say it's evil, it's wicked, and it's one of the big issues that the Democrats, when they lose races, they lose on these kinds of things.
Well, and it's being rejected. It's being rejected in polling across the nation.
Right,
it's being rejected at the state level.
Right.
Even at the possibly at the federal
level.
Not
to mention the women in sports.
I don't understand it, but
it's a smart political move. I would guess, Ray, that the Democrats would prefer that this not even be brought up, that we just ignore it. I think that Johnson bringing this up is kind of keep putting it in their face, right?
Well, look, the minimum that needs to happen here, Steve, is it needs to go to the Senate, and let's put everybody on the record, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you don't get 60, maybe you get 52, 53. Let's force the Democrats to take a stand on this issue, because this is one where the country is in favor of protecting our children.
Right.
And so force the Democrats, smoke them out, get them out of the shadows, let them take a stand on this issue.
I agree.
All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Today's Issues is the name of this show. Tim and Tony Vitagliano join me today with Ray Pritchard and Steve Paisley-Jordan. Next story, Steve.
It's been fascinating to see the reaction to this Vanity Fair hit piece that came out. Did you guys talk about this at all in the first hour? Vanity Fair piece?
No.
Vanity Fair, Susie Wiles, the chief of staff to President Donald Trump, and some people say the only person holding a rein on this man, granted an interview to Vanity Fair. It has never worked out well for conservatives when this has happened. I don't know why they did it. They may have learned a lesson not to, but it's been fascinating to see the reaction. So I want to play you a montage of how you would imagine that the liberal news media and people like The View are just using this with glee. Let's listen to what they have to say. This is The View, Stephen Colbert and Chris Hayes having a field day with this, cut 11.
Sounds like the adult in the room.
She is the adult.
Well, then why does the toddler in chief have the nuclear code?
Vanity Fair, I mean, they did those people wrong, man. Maybe they're doing the Lord's work.
I like to remind all of you that you're not crazy. What's happening is crazy. In the pages of Vanity Fair, they confirmed it. Who's they? Them's is. The crazies.
Boy, doesn't that just encapsulate the entire mentality of all the groupies and the hangers-on, all the facilitators and enablers around him in MAGA?
It's interesting. So the administration has been playing this, like leaning into this, actually. Nobody seems to be too upset. As one example, the photography that they use, they pick the most unflattering pictures of all of these people they could possibly find and put them up in the article to make them look really stupid. One of the pictures of Marco Rubio standing in a room from the side, and he's kind of leaning over, looking pensive. And it's not a very good picture. Marco Rubio has made this now his official Twitter picture.
Yeah.
So
listen, this was a story. Whoever at the White House had the bright idea of granting an interview with photographs, sit-down photographs for Vanity Fair, a lefty magazine, that's a terrible idea from its inception. So I don't have any sympathy for them.
They're not wanting sympathy. They
Okay,
want to play into it.
I don't have any sympathy for them, and I don't think that they want any. I viewed what Susie Wiles said. She's the chief of staff, right? For
Yes.
President, as basically, this was sort of a. They turned it into sort of a spoof on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So they are making it. But if anybody really expected Vanity Fair to give President Trump and his administration a fair shake on an interview, then you're naive,
right,
beyond measure.
Dana Perino was one of the spokespeople for President George W. Bush, and she has a story about her. They did this to her. Listen to what she has to say. Cut 12.
I had my own little lesson in Vanity Fair PR. In 2006, I was convinced by a writer of Vanity Fair that Karl Rove had never been given a fair shake, and that he was going to take a fresh look. And so I went to Dan Bartlett, the head of communications, and said, "Is it cool if I work on this? Because I really think I think I could really do a good job." And he was like, "Yeah, knock yourself out." Well, we pulled out all the stops, everything possible for this reporter, and it was the meanest piece I've ever read in my life, with the worst photograph. And I was under my desk in a fetal position, just like.
You were standing.
Learn your lesson. Exactly. If you are a Republican politician, you are not going to get the glossy treatment that some people might think they deserve, but you're never going to get it. You would have to do it yourself. Vanity Fair, the clue is in the name.
Trump knows this. Trump called them fake media. That's one of the things that caught on back in his first time around. Anyway, next story. What's the next story?
The leftists continue to protest ICE wherever they are, and in fact, they're starting to protest things that aren't ICE because they can't tell the difference. They're not smart enough to tell the difference. Dateline New Orleans, the Internet Crimes Against Children Division of the Justice Department was out in the streets making some arrests. And the brilliant minds on the left decided that they looked like ICE, so there must be ICE. And they recorded themselves confronting these people. Let's listen to cut 14.
We know you are.
So, ICE, Border Patrol, we're not ICE, Louisiana.
Internet crimes against children. We hunt online predators. Oh, yeah, cool.
I don't really buy that. No, thanks.
Yeah.
Online predators with all of you in tinted windows.
We don't respect whatever you do. Well, we have child predators, so.
Right.
We don't believe you. They're not at Bromart at noon on a Wednesday.
In tinted
Friday.
windows.
You'll see the article tomorrow. Okay, cool.
We'll see it too.
Bye.
A child predator wouldn't be out eating at a restaurant at noon.
It's
you have tinted windows, so we don't believe you.
I don't know. There's a lot of people whose brains are broken. Trump has broken them, and you lose the ability when you're driven by ideological hate. You lose the ability to think rationally, and you lose the ability. One of the worst parts of it, in my opinion, you lose the ability to recant or go back on something you've committed to doing or saying. Right? There's lack of humility.
Same thing with the Dems and the the transgender thing.
Yeah. You lose the ability to simply say, "Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? That is a very worthy cause.
Yeah,
so please continue what you're doing. Thank you for what you're doing."
Exactly. They were saying they were from the internet. They're trying to find people who are trafficking children or kiddie porn or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So that's what they were there for, to try to find that person or arrest that person, not to. But even if they were ICE, the fact that ICE is, they're arresting people around the country who are here illegally, and most of the time they've committed some kind of acts of criminal activity. So they're doing the public a service, and they're being demonized by the media and the people on the left and the Democrats. Next story.
Along the same lines, we've had a sighting of Code Pink. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
They're back in business?
They're back. Well, there's a Republican president. They disappeared during a Democrat administration. It's funny. And then as soon as the Republicans show up again in the White House, there's Code Pink.
Who are they for those who have forgotten?
Code Pink started back in the Bush administration, and they were they're leftist Democrats and protesters. And I think trying to remember, it was the
abortion.
War.
It was abortion.
It was abortion.
They're pro-choice to the hilt, and that's what started. That's why they started.
It was also maybe the war in Iraq. I think also the weapons of mass destruction, maybe. But anyway, they show anything now to take down the administration. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was having dinner with his wife in a Washington, D.C. restaurant, and they showed up, and this is what happened, cut 15.
We have a special guest here, and we want to make a toast for the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent. So let's give it up for the man who is eating in peace as people starve across the world based on his sanctions, which are economic warfare.
Of course you're going to boo this. It's the truth.
He oversees the death of 600,000 people due to sanctions annually. And this president, let's cheers to the Monroe Doctrine.
Okay.
Trump today said that Venezuelan oil.
All right, pass the fried mushrooms. You would. Okay.
Where did this happen?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying? Whoever the manager is of that restaurant needs to explain themselves or be fired. You can't. I don't know. We're all just wondering, how does this happen?
Where was the Secret Service?
You get a microphone in the middle of people having dinner at a restaurant and start yelling stuff. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, they show up in pink. I mean, there's your
clue.
sign right there. Yeah. It's something's gonna be something's gonna be off.
We got probably time for one more story.
All right,
Steve.
let's talk about cookies.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so the Target has published a map of which states are in favor of the favorite Christmas cookies. 76% of U.S. states describe gingerbread cookies as 38 states, gingerbread cookies as their most favorite Christmas cookie.
Yeah.
In 8 states, Delaware, Hawaii, Idaho, Massachusetts, New York, Vermont, West Virginia, and Wyoming, it's sugar cookies.
Okay.
And it's shortbread in Kansas, Maine, Montana, and New Jersey.
What do you say, Ray? What's your favorite Christmas cookie there?
Well, look, first of all, in Kansas, shortbread, good. I'm totally good with that. My personal favorite, first of all, is gingerbread. That's a house. Is Steve, that's a house, right?
Yeah.
Did they make gingerbread cookies?
Yeah, the gingerbread man. You ever heard about the gingerbread man?
Okay, I guess that's right. Sure.
And the kids decorate the
right.
gingerbread.
That's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Speaking of making cookies, my wife texted me and said our 41-and-a-half-year-old mixer broke last night, so we need to go to Walmart and get a new one. So
she's been listening about how to make peanut butter, so that's what.
Would that qualify as a Christmas gift?
A 40? No, I don't think so.
Not in a million
but
years.
You know what? A mixer that lasts 41 and a half years.
Good.
That's a pretty good mixer.
We don't use it all the
They
time.
don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah.
The next one you buy is going to last 41 days.
If I email the company, if they're still in existence, and told them we got a mixer that lasts 41, they might come do. Might give us a free one.
Car companies have done that before. Yeah. My car went to 1 million miles, and they'll award you a new car.
4 decades old mixer. Steve, you got one of those?
Oh yeah, I've got a Cuisinart, and they are good.
A what?
A Cuisinart.
You need to go buy one. This is going to be the last mixer you're ever going to have to buy, right?
Yeah.
Can't take it with you.
Oh,
that's right.
That's kind of sobering. Thank you for that, Ray.
40 years is a long time.
Hey, if I were a pharaoh, they'd be finding a mixture 2,000 years from now.
That's right.
Buried next to me. Because I thought I could take it to the afterlife.
That's right.
KitchenAid. I'm wrong. It's KitchenAid, not Cuisinart. KitchenAid. Okay.
Oh, that's what it's called?
Yeah, that's the good one.
All right. You gave him a free advertisement right there. But you can vouch for him.
I expect a mixer in the mail.
All right. Thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
My pleasure.
Ray, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
My thanks to Adam Suddeth and Cole Green and Alex McFarland and Fred Jackson. And I don't think that's everybody that was on the show today. Thanks for listening to Trivia Fridays tomorrow, so we'll see you back here then.